right, here we are. Miss Charmy is here. Everett, Kaz, Artec, Redtail, and myself. I am in Pyro. And let me go ahead and get this set up. So, anybody got any comments, questions while I'm here, while we're in here? And we can talk about stuff. Hello, Tone.
Howdy, how's it going?
All right, what's up?
Not a lot. I need to figure out how to, when you go into Task Manager
Uh huh.
under Services,
Yeah.
I have a bunch of things running in double and triple instances.
Uh huh.
How do I clean that up? Besides shutting these things down, which I just did, get the game to load in.
And process.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
But
But how do?
there is like a softer way to do it. Hey, what's up, Scorpio King? Um, I don't know right off the top of my head, man. To
That's cool.
be fair.
I'll research.
All right, I am in Pyro and doing some investigating. This is week 2 of Pyro 4.0 preview, and this is just to get an idea of where it's at, what we're feeling about it, and what we've encountered. So, Miss Charmy and I, and Everett, Kaz, and Brian went on an excursion yesterday, and it was interesting. We went to Monox, and I encountered some serious lag. I mean, to the point where I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. And Kaz and Brian were in the ship with me, the Polaris, the Martha, and I went down to the planet. Now, on their screens, they were still in space. I was on the planet, and I lost power, I lost all control, and hit the deck. Miss Charmy, on the other hand, was able to fly around and no problem, and it was just a weird instance that was very, very confusing to everybody. Everett, your thought? Because I know you were there, and it was like, holy, and Kaz, it was crazy.
Well, like I said, it was severely lagged up to a point from 90 seconds to 3 minutes before even a door opened when you're trying to move. Because I was stuck on the missile, the torpedo launcher,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I was in space. I see space out there because I was on the outside view. Miss Charmy was like 423 kilometers away from us, and here you are. Somebody was showing a video of them in Discord on the planet. So,
Yeah, that was Charmy. She had the video up for the planet, and then I was streaming the video where we were in space, and we were showing Charmy like 400 or 848 kilometers away down on the planet, and I could look at her stream and see her walking around the ship that was on the planet crashed. Shadow couldn't get out of the captain's seat. Brian and I were sitting up in the other seats on the bridge, and when we were looking around, and what I was streaming was showing the ship with no engine power, just slowly spinning and rotating in space, watching the planet go by the window every now and again, while everyone else was trying to open doors and get things to work, but it was showing them that they were planet side while the other 3 of us were still in space.
Hey, Brian.
and yet we're on one ship, except for Miss Charmy.
Yeah, she went on her own ship. I'm thinking, and this is just spitballing is all this is. Brian and I were new to Pyro, and when we went through the gate is when the lag started, and I think it might have been because we were in Shadow's ship and we were new, we were loading all the assets and all the information, and because it was taking us so long, it was forcing the ship, the Polaris that we were in, to play catch up to all of the stuff that we were trying to get information on what was going on. And I think that might have been what was affecting them, because we were new to the system and we didn't have, you know, the shaders, we didn't have the assets, we didn't have all of that.
And that's a good thought, because I haven't been to Pyro. Yesterday was the first time I went to Pyro since it started, and I'm in there now, and I'm gonna go to Monox, but I went to Pyro 4 or Pyro 5, and I'm gonna hit a station over here, get some fuel, and I'm gonna go to Monox and see how it reacts this time to me being there. Now, Miss Charmy went there by herself yesterday, her and Fire, after that, and it was lagging out for her. But I don't think it was the same server region or anything like that, but it was weird.
Yeah, ours, Brian and mine, we didn't catch up until Charmy had finally got over to our ship, or your ship, and got it back to functioning and had flown it back to the gate. And when we got back in the area of the gate, that's when our game started to load and act normal for Brian and I. I think it was the same for Everett, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, you're right. After Miss Charmy stunned me in the bay.
Yeah.
She's not saying nothing, but she gave Everett a punch in the nose.
Just to see if I move and I go flat on the thing, but I'm standing up on my side of the screen looking around. What happened? She's just laughing her head off.
It was an interesting experience. I'll give it that. It was interesting.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Okay. I'm flying the Black Canary 2.0, the Intrepid.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Hey, Miss Peaches.
Quantum travel engaged.
But I mean, as far as making money, what have you guys been doing? Me, I've been doing different things. Like, I did salvage yesterday. I've done bunkers. I've done cargo. How do you feel about the payouts so far?
Well, the payouts have been raised because everything else has been raised, and I think the artificial increase in artificial raise in prices is to justify the artificial raise in the amounts you're getting paid. I know
Okay.
that's a circle, but ships are more expensive, so they raise the profit you get instead of just lowering the price of the ships and leaving everything the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, that's what it is. It justifies the outcome, justifies the means at the moment.
Well, I know you've been doing a lot of salvage. You've been in Pyro a lot. So,
Yes.
how do you feel about the gameplay compared to Stanton?
I like it. The reason why I like it is you don't have to worry about breaking the law.
Well, of course.
Well, I mean, you don't understand. You shoot an NPC over there, they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll shoot back at you, but you're good. Over here, you shoot when you go to prison.
Yeah.
You know, like yesterday, I picked up a really big ship for a really big free, just by getting on it. Over here, you can't come here. You're all da 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 da. So I had to park outside of the armistice zones. You know, it's cool.
I'm perturbed.
No,
Okay, Miss Charmy, what's going on?
Just turned in my thing, delivered my stuff, and it did not complete the mission.
Did you submit it?
Yeah,
Okay, did it give you any money? That's the thing. You didn't get paid.
no. It's like it's bugged. I don't know what the heck's going on. Took forever to get landed. When I finally do get landed, now I've put the stuff in, put it in the freight elevator, delivered it, the whole 9 yards, and
Nothing.
nada.
Well, I have been running into cargo not being loaded in the freight elevator. That is frustrating.
Same here. Yeah, same here.
yes, that's pretty much game wide.
Well, it wasn't loaded. It's not that it wasn't loaded. I mean, I had it on my ship. Put it on the freight elevator, just send it down, send it down. Nada.
I haven't been able to play much. Still have the quant bug, so I'm doing a character repair. Everybody's got the quant bug. Even with that, have you, Miss Speeches, noticed that it will take you from, like, you're pointing at one thing and you'll bypass it, and then you've got to stop the ship and change it around, turn around, and then try to get close to where you're landing? Because I've had that happen a lot.
Yep, happened yesterday. I've taken a quest for a bunker mission. It doesn't give me a marker. Track, untrack doesn't work. Do all the workarounds. Type the name in. Still doesn't mark it. Fly down to the closest point that I can get to. Go down there, do the mission. Don't get any markers for security. Don't get any markers for the last couple of bad guys. Clear everything that I can find. Doesn't give me credit for it. Try to fly out of the area of it to get it to abandon, just to see if it would recognize that I was even there. Got no indicator for anything. That's just the way it's been.
I tipped my hull A taking off a box.
You tipped your hull A taking off a box.
Yes. It was a windy planet, so when it took off the box, it was for SCU, and I'm looking, oh no, it's gonna tip. It tipped. It's okay, I got it right back up again.
It won't jump at all? Miss Peaches? I'm just wondering if you may have to uninstall and reinstall. But try the character repair, let me know. Go ahead, Joan. I mean, that sounds like a... Did you try and delete your user folder and see if that helps? I mean, I hate to say it, but that could be an issue. Okay, we're gonna go to Monox and see how this is running today.
I've had to clean up my app data about every other day this week to make the game run right. Because it will have multiple instances of the 4.0 installed, and it just freaks out.
Okay. To be fair, I had the same thing. I just cleaned mine out yesterday. I had like 4 folders, one of crashes, 4 folders of 4.0 in there.
Yep.
And I cleaned it out.
Quantum travel engaged.
So, I mean, that could be something that it's gonna happen, but you're gonna do it, Miss Peaches, you're gonna do a uninstall? Well, you can do it from the launcher. It's pretty smooth from the launcher.
Hey guys, I'm out. I got things that have been put in my lap.
All right, have a good one, man.
Yep. Take it easy, y'all. Have a good one.
All right, see you later, guys.
Take it easy.
I'm back.
Welcome back,
Oh.
Red. What's up?
Have to handle a few things, phone calls, whatnot.
Hey, Red.
Hey, Everett.
So, what have you been encountering, Red, besides the stuff that we've talked about?
Oh.
Okay. It must be a good one.
No, quantum markers bouncing all everywhere. You having to fight a little bit to get those to work. Turning off your quantum, turning back on your quantum. Mapping it out, basically typing it in, whatever destination, and hopefully, to stick that way. Just a bunch of workarounds, right?
Well, I've noticed this, that sometimes I'll type something in, lock it in, and then all of a sudden I go to jump to it and it's not there.
Yeah.
And then I've had to go back into it and do it again. And then when I try to do it, just by line of sight, the markers aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I've encountered that.
And even with I think we might have talked about, like, when you actually do get a mission and you jump to it, so all of a sudden you're no longer tracking that mission. And you're like,
Yeah.
especially the space combat ones, those are the ones that are problems. So
Well, I've encountered it to where I was going to a bunker. As a matter of fact, I was going to one with you guys, and it kept. It didn't show the marker, and I couldn't find it, and I had to jump. When I would see you, then all of a sudden, the destination would appear.
right.
It's weird.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of you can still manage to do a bunch of things. You're just gonna have hindrances and not a lot of convenience, but you can still make your way.
Right.
It's just that if you're coming in new, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
If we didn't have that kind of experience of being on this game for a while, nobody was there to help you. Yeah, you'd be turned all around.
Oh,
Probably be frustrated.
frustration isn't the word, okay? When I first started playing 3 years ago, my first month was like, I'm gonna say it, hell on earth, trying to figure out stuff, and
Quantum fuel 75.
it just got really frustrating to the point where I was about to just say, I'm gonna leave this alone for a couple weeks.
Mhm.
And that's when I met Mike, and he's the one that got me through. And it was rough, man. I'm telling you, that first month that you decide to just try it and play it for yourself,
Mhm.
you will encounter so much that is just like insane.
Right, because the thing was, because I can remember when it first started, like I always saw, because there was not really any advertisement. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think I was just on YouTube or something. Then I saw, you know how the algorithms work and whatnot, and it's like you would see the, you know, the Star Citizen, the little emblems, the space, and then a guy standing over in a spacesuit, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was something like that. And on that chance, I said, okay, I'll try to do this. And then when I started, bro, you talking about resetting your account constantly, because you know they had that copy reset you could do every 24 hours.
Yeah.
Paying it up because I was always in jail.
Right. My first encounter with the slam, I was down in a bunker trying it out, and they didn't have any markers over their heads, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you didn't know who was who because the colors, you didn't know the colors when you first started.
Right.
And man, I shot this dude. I'm gonna say it was a beautiful shot. Okay. But I ended up coming back outside. My ship was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this crime stat. Now, I didn't know what it was.
Mm.
And I logged out and I went to Grim Hex. I said, what is this place? So I went there and then I left. And I didn't know I still had the crime stat. So I'm flying around. I went to go do a mission. And I was flying to Pisces at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I left the ship and was doing the mission. All of a sudden, I hear all this boom, boom, boom. I'm like, what's going on? This dude shot my ship. I didn't know I had a bounty on me.
Run, Shadow, run.
So,
Yeah,
so what ended up happening was I EVA'd out to the ship, right?
mm-hmm.
And the guy was sitting there, and he was just sitting there. I got to the window of his ship, and I flipped him the bird. I was like...
Hold up. You actually knew the
Yeah, I found it.
Oh.
So then he left, and somebody else came in an M2, and they ran into me, and I clipped into their ship. And he was like, you know, we're talking over chat, and he tried to take me to a station so I could get a ship, right? And when we got there, they were shooting at me, and he was like, "Wait a minute, are you the bounty I'm supposed to pick up?" I was like, "What?" So
Shields on.
he said,
had to learn you. He had to learn you.
Yeah, he told me what was going on, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Hold up. Was he laughing at you?
No, he wasn't laughing at me. He says, "Well, I can let you out here, but you'll die." And I was like, "Well, you know what? Go ahead and take it." And he's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah." So that's how I ended up in Klesher for the first time.
Oh, wow.
It was a standoff. It was either me shoot him or him shoot me. And if I'd have shot him, I would have gotten even more trouble. So
Shadow's a little jailbird.
that was my first encounter with Klesher. So I ended up going to Klesher. That was my first time. And I was in there for like 4 hours or something like that. And I said, well, I'll see you later, because it was late at night. But it was funny. It was so funny. And that's what they did. You know, if you don't, know,
you don't know.
and I mean, there's so much to read in the journal. If you don't read the journal, you'll never know what's going on. So
Right, and the thing is, like, I wasn't used to, you know, I didn't know anybody or anything like that. It's just like, man, I guess I'm just gonna be here. But I knew one thing. I'll tell you what I did know real fast.
what's that?
That little MR was not gonna be my ship. That Aurora, I was like, what is this?
No.
I said, no. You know, you slow. Let me graduate to this. They say this 100 is really good. Got me one of those.
I got a
All
100.
right, I can do some things. And then after I was like, man, I can't do a lot of things.
Right.
Oh man, y'all talking about going through some ships.
I'll tell you what, I still have that 100 to this day. That little ship will save your life.
It'll sustain you, won't it?
Okay, I'm on Monox, and guess what? I can't turn off any of my stuff.
Launch complete.
I can't turn off my engines,
Engines off.
and it's so
Engines off. Engines off.
it's so delayed right now. The engine's just turned off. That's crazy. And I can't get out of the seat. I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here. So, here's the question. Is preview starting just to be as bad as 318? No.
Absolutely not.
Nope, nope, nope.
Nothing can even compare to that madness. Nothing. That was crazy. I think people, you know how, like, I know it's been, how long has that been? About a year, Shadow?
2 years.
It's been 2 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Already.
I don't know. I think sometimes people, because I know I lived it, but you can't even admit, you know what I'm saying? You forget how bad it really, really was. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
was bad. And it was no rhyme or reason. You could be the one that was dealing with a bunch of bad, or you could be the one who was dealing with a little bit of bad. But everybody had bad.
Right.
And the only
Could've
way
been
I
around
could
when it
play, I made a new tune. That was it. That's the only way. Because I had too many of those ships in my you know what I'm saying, when they did the thing that they kind of like made you call the ships a little different way. But
Yeah.
all those
Deliverables.
ships made you impossible to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Miss Charmin, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that I'm sure Kaz can attest to this, and Everett. And I know my husband Rocky can, about how bad it was before like when 3.0, and you know, it's just the hangar, and it was just God, what was the name of that place?
Landing complete.
There wasn't very much to do. Better yet. And everything was just hiccuping, and people I think there are videos out there where people, like, you know, people were just flopping around, they couldn't walk. I mean, there was all kinds of fun stuff that was going on.
Oh, Shadow, I forgot to tell you, I got a surprise in the bunker. yesterday.
What surprise did you get?
I guess the player must have dropped the P8AR, baby.
Uh-oh.
I got me one that I didn't have to buy.
I know you you can't buy it in the store anyway.
I know. I'm just talking about, so now I can use it. Because I won't use mine. I can use this one. I was so excited. I'm like, no, this can't be what I think it is.
Right?
Kitted out and everything. Nice silencer on it. It's got the scorch scope.
Oh, the scorch scope? Nice.
Is the ammo still 150 each?
Yes.
Oh, that ain't changing.
Yeah, I know.
I'm getting I'm getting out of here because everything is all delayed. So trying to go to Monox right now is not a good thing.
Try a different planet.
Oh, I am. But Monox is Lag City. Just gonna say it. Okay. Yeah, Monox is rough. As far as lag and performance.
And getting out of the hangar issues or landing, ending up on the roof.
That's another thing. As you all know, we went back to going into the HABs due to the fact that they were overlaying with everybody else's, so the instances were combined, and you would see hangar doors open, but they wouldn't be open, and you'd get crushed, and your ship would be destroyed or be impounded, and you would be kicked out of your hangar. So they went back to putting us in the HABs, which is okay. I mean, it is what it is for right now, but they did state that they were working on that to change that back. Couldn't tell you when. But hopefully it will come back soon. I really enjoyed that. But I'm getting away from this place right now. And I can't calculate it. I'm not out.
Lebsky, that was the name of that.
That's coming back, right? With what?
Yeah, it's coming back when Nick comes out.
Nix.
I was saying how bad things were. You've seen some rough gameplay. What was the roughest gameplay you had?
Miss Charby's talking to her husband, Rocky.
What now?
Shields off.
Pat?
Hey, Billy's Brew.
Okay, he said that Lebsky is the first place to actually have hangars. And everywhere else had landing pads. But what was the worst gameplay?
There was only 4 of them last week.
There was only 4 hangars at Lebsky, so when everybody trying to,
Quantum travel complete.
and everybody would crash their ships outside of Lebsky to get inside to the hangars and to get into Lebsky. Okay.
Because that was the first place that you could buy a ship.
First place you could buy a ship in game.
Mm.
And that was the worst gameplay, or like as far as patches and expansions?
Well, it was the greatest and the worst at the same time.
He says greatest and the worst at the same time.
Wow, that says a lot.
Quantum travel engaged.
Everybody was trying to get there.
Because everybody was trying to get there.
Everybody was trying to land.
Everybody was trying to land.
Well, laggiest place that you could imagine.
It was the laggiest place you could ever imagine.
Well, Ask Rocky this. Wasn't Port Olisar there at this time?
Hop on Discord. He's asking you questions instead of me having to do it all. Hold on, he's gonna get on comms. See.
Because I think Port Olisar was active when Levski was active. Everett, you might know that one.
I'm thinking that it was. I stayed in my hangar and watched all the people crash. I didn't get out of my hangar. Yeah, I think so.
He's loading Discord. Just having to
I
update.
think it was what,
It's been a while.
2015?
When did 3.0 drop? Because I know that was the roughest patch besides 3.18.
When did 3.0 drop, dear? Hold on, he's trying to get. He's loading. He's coming. Snowbirds. There he is.
Excuse me. Hey, Rocky.
Hold on 1 second.
I think it was 2017, but
It's either 17 or 16. I can't remember exactly which.
I know one thing, the player count went from 24 people to 50. Oof.
It went to 35 first.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I think it was December. No, it would have been November or 2017. I'm not sure. It's been a long time.
Yeah, Port Olisar, you had the planets that had just came in,
Mm-hmm.
and Levski, the moon, outside of the other, on the far side of Yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Quantum travel complete.
Yeah.
Okay, because, I mean, like I said, I wasn't in the game then. I didn't get into the game until 3.15.
Oh no, it was 2 something when I got in.
Ooh, man.
I think it was 2.6, 2.7, something like that. We had just got those hangars. It was before we actually had Port Olisar. Right before we got Port Olisar.
Mm.
All we had was our hangars. We could go in and see our ships.
Exactly.
And so wasn't the sim pod in there?
No, we actually had our little go-kart deal though.
Mm-hmm.
We could ride around in our hangar.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember the simulation thing where you can sit into
Because that was Arena Commander.
Yeah, that was Arena Commander. That was not Star Citizen.
yes.
Okay. Because I was...
The
Go ahead.
expansion, we were trying to discuss, yes, we're having issues. Yes, there are things that are going wrong here and there, but how bad has it been in the past?
Even as far back as to when we just had those air hangar, and I had the Arrow hangar because I have the Freelancer. And when I go to spawn it in, well, most of the time it'd end up halfway down into the hangar. So it was, you couldn't even do anything then. And all you had was your hangar, and you go in and you put, you had some little knickknacks and stuff you could take in place, and it'd give you little spawn points that you could put them in, like your fish tank and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you could decorate it some, but the next time you loaded it, it was all gone.
Yeah, it wasn't persistent then.
No.
And then when you'd spawn your ship, sometimes they'd come in, sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they'd come halfway in and nothing be on them, and they'd be just the framing, but no skin, no shell. You couldn't go up in it because the doors weren't working or anything, and there was only a couple of real ships that would work pretty much all the time, but those were all first-person fighter ships where you're always getting directly into the cockpit, not something that you actually walked up into.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like the Freelancer, it has went through like, I don't know, 10 iterations, it seems like. You know, at one point you enter in the very front of it by the front landing gear.
Hey, Rocky, did it ever really look like, you know, on that clip, the one guy who's always flying around and whatnot, and they showed the Freelancer, did it ever have like where the guns would actually go out to the side and shoot like that?
They never worked that way.
Okay.
Ever.
No, they didn't.
And
No.
the VTOL never worked on a Freelancer.
Okay. All right.
And they kept promising us, oh, we'll get the VTOL. We'll get the VTOL. Because that would have been the coolest shit is having VTOL on those Lancers.
Right.
Yeah, the animated where they turn down and flip back, and because
Mhm.
I was planning on flying it that way, the way they did in the video for the sales of it.
Right.
But I learned that, you know, I can just decouple, flip it around, and do it the same thing anyway, so it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Worked around, huh?
Yeah. And, well, and then they, with master modes, that's pretty much all but done now. You can't even do that now. So
Well,
they're going to be changing. They changed master modes here recently. They're going to be changing it again, and it's going to, until they finally decide there's no sense of trying to get skilled in flying it in one particular way, and they're just going to change it up, and you can't fly that way anymore. That's just, you know, it's like you're going to learn how to use a sword, but now we're going to take and make that sword only work with two hands instead of one hand.
Called refinement.
Yeah. So till they settle primarily on what they're going to be doing, it's kind of useless to try to get expert in anything.
I want to say I'm
And muscle memory is a big part of flying in skilled flying.
oh yeah.
You know, when your eyes see this, your hands and your body naturally, your elbows kick out and your hands roll in, and you dive down and left at the same time the moment your eyes see this.
Meanwhile, you're walking on the street after playing Star Citizen and you're doing the same twerks.
Yep.
Ever.
I mean, I don't know how many of you guys have done big time first person shooter, like tournament type play and stuff, but you know, we used to do first big time tournaments, right? And I got to the point where if I heard a foot step in a water puddle, I knew where somebody was, and I pick up a grenade and throw it because I know where they're going to be by the time the grenade goes off and kill them. You know, it's muscle memory and sound memory, and this happens, this is what you do, you know, and
Launch complete.
but that takes hours and hours of commitment. And when I say hours, we're talking months and months of commitment to get to that ability. And I did that at the very beginning when
Landing gear up.
You were
we were-
finally able to fly your ship.
Yep, when they first opened up Port Olisar, everybody was outside of Port Olisar fighting and doing combat. And they'd have somebody out there with a missile boat, and if that at that time, people, the general rule of thumb was if you're using missiles, you're cheating. You're a cheater. They thought you as a coward. You won't fight somebody head to head. So when the miss came out, everybody and the Talon, everybody was like, well, you're not actually combat. You're standing off and just shooting missiles at people because missiles were way overpowered back then too, and you couldn't dodge them. Once they locked on you, once they locked on to you, you were just toast.
Or you couldn't even use the decoys or nothing? No noise, no nothing?
The decoys didn't work 99% of the time.
That reminds me, this is why I'm getting stealth equipment for my ship right now, because it seems that it's back to what that was.
And you know, people are talking about, well, this is overpowered and this is that, and I'm like, dude, you guys don't know what overpower is. Wait till you get, you know, somebody out there, and the Retaliator was the fucking bomb back then. Because it had all those manned guns. You had, you know, the 2 on the rear wings that could be operated. You had the 1 in the belly, the 1 on the pilot, and then 1 up top. So you had 5 gun stations on that damn thing. And you couldn't get, it didn't have a blind spot. And it took forever. I mean, even back whenever I first met Shadow, it took forever to take down a dang Retaliator.
Yes.
It's still kind of tough.
I mean, we sat there and I gotten behind one, and I think Shadow can verify this. We beat on that sumbitch probably 10 freaking minutes, sitting there just shooting it and shooting it and shooting it and shooting it and shooting it with 4 size 3s on it the whole time, and it just wouldn't freaking drop.
Yeah, I remember that. And I think the Retaliator had the highest hit point average in the game at the time.
It had it for a long time too, though.
Yeah, I remember that. We were sitting there just wailing on it, and it wouldn't go down. I was like, what?
He did everything he could try to get away from me, and he just couldn't do it. And I'm sitting there, and we're just laying into it. Boom, 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 boom. It just wouldn't do nothing. Couldn't kill it.
Quantum travel engaged.
Which planet is that one, Shadow?
Bloom. So I'm staying away from Monox. That one just lagged me out to the point
Gives you the locks?
Yeah. Yeah, it gives me the locks.
I remember correctly, 3.17 was pretty bad. Or
Oh,
was it 3.18?
That's
317?
That was all current stuff.
Yeah, which one's the one that had the worst?
317 was pretty good. 318 sucked.
Quantum travel.
318.
Okay, 318.
Awful.
I couldn't log in throughout all of 318. My ship was missing its engines.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
The whole time I claimed it. We done everything. We kicked it out. We towed it out. We just destroyed it in every freaking way whatsoever. Every time I get a claim on it, it come back with no engines.
And they took away character reset. They went to character repair that time.
Yep.
Yes. And I was like, what? It was so bad. Anytime I had some problems, reset that thing.
I remember 3.9 was actually pretty good, and we were all thinking 3.10, which 3.10 was actually going to be 4.0 at that time because they were pushing it really hard at the time. Well, they did the same. We thought 3.0 was going to be Pyro, to be honest with you, and this was in the 2.7, 2.8 days.
Okay, and that was how many years ago? 4 years?
Oh God, no, that's shit. Now it's 24, so that's probably 8 years ago.
Wow.
I mean, it's...
They've been working on. They told us in 2 points. I think it was 2.7 or 2.9. 2.9, I think it was. That they were working on server meshing at that time, and we'd be surprised when 3.0 come out. So we thought, okay, we're getting server meshing and Pyro. That was the big whispers and everybody talking about it on the. This is shortly after we got OSR. I think it was.
Well, how did people manage to hold on?
Because there was something to do, and
Belief.
as long as there's something to just do, and because it's a time sink right now. It's something to keep you busy while they work on the game, and it gives us a chance to test certain things to see if we like them or not.
Shields on.
Even back then, we thought it was going to be a better game, so that's what kept us in. We just we wanted something good.
Well, we knew it was going to be a better game than anything else out there.
Mm-hmm.
And currently, it's better than 99% of all other games that are actually live and out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you compare this to, I don't know, Eve.
Eve Online.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there's nothing. There's not even a comparison in them. Eve's got a great market, right? Oh, yeah. But if you didn't get involved in it at the very beginning, you're fucked. Right?
The grind is like that.
Screaming.
It's okay because he's just telling the truth. I mean, at this point, I've played Eve and I didn't like it at all.
If you didn't get involved when it first came out, you were so far behind you will never catch up.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible because those that did and are still playing are just going to wipe you off out of the system or the systems. You become a non-existent factor anymore.
Engines off.
And Elite Dangerous. Come on, really? Come on, guys.
I played that too.
Really? Oh, we got Outpost now in Elite. Do you see them?
No, I haven't been out.
I've seen some of the videos, really the comparison video. It's not good.
It's just not right.
It's not right. I'm like, oh man. Now they do have a nice Elite Dangerous does have a nice
Hangers?
You know, when you take off and you land, that looks amazing. Not
Yeah,
saying
that-
it can actually do anything, but it looks
That
amazing.
and it was auto land and auto takeoff initially. It was initially. You get lined up and then it just does that land thing and then it cuts to a cutscene type thing for you to land on.
Hey, shout
You know-
out, hey guys.
So
Hey, Dar.
Hey,
Oh, but it does have virtual.
What you guys up to in the verse?
Virtual reality. I mean,
Yeah.
VR.
The VR.
running the Snowbirds meeting room right now, talking about the preview and 2 weeks into it and the comparisons of what in the past and what we're encountering now.
game's so greatly improved. I love it.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
beyond. It is.
I agree. Especially from last week to now, it's a very, very improved on, especially on the hotfix that they dropped. And I liked it that they didn't really announce when they were dropping the hotfix, where they just said we're gonna drop it. And I think that was the best idea ever because when everybody hears a hotfix, it's coming down like in 30 minutes. Everybody from their moms, pops, to everybody that jumps on it. I think it just overwhelms the server. It doesn't have enough time to set in place, and it's actually been running really well so far the past couple of days, I think.
There's always going to be bugs, but there's bugs in every game out there. I mean, WoW's been out for 20 years and it still has bugs.
It does. And you talking about a crazy toxic community.
I mean, seriously. I mean,
And
but
I've been spending a lot of time in Pyro, and Pyro was the worst last week, where it was just black screens within 10 to 15 minutes. But I played a good amount yesterday in Pyro, and I didn't get no black screens. I did. It was my fault, but I did get myself stuck, and it was not the game's fault. It was my fault in a little corner. But yeah, I mean, it was working fine yesterday.
Well, I mean, we're 2 weeks in. It's gotten a lot more stable than what we started with. There's still some issues that we're definitely encountering: missions, quantum travel, all sorts of things. But the stability has gotten better. But there are some people that are still having issues where they can't get in at all. They're getting that 6003 error or something like that. Black screens. I haven't seen any the past day or so. And go ahead.
I remember back, I think it was 311 or 312. I actually had a whole patch cycle where my graphics drivers would not allow me to load the game.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
No matter what, I uninstalled them. I put in older drivers. I put in new drivers. I put in midterm drivers. I tried every driver from 2 years prior on my graphics card to get it to load the game, and it wouldn't load the game.
I remember
and then the next patch,
there was an AMD issue. I remember.
Yes. And now I get more frames than most everybody else out there. And I'm sometimes I just love the hell out of it. But you know, there's going to be times where patches just don't go right for everybody. Because there's a lot of different builds and a lot of different equipment. And to make a game that can play on every single piece of machinery with every piece of equipment with every single add-in card that might be causing conflict. You might have a video capture card that you're using because you like to stream, and that has a conflict with a particular driver for this particular part of the space. So I couldn't get it within the planet, near the planet of Crusader.
I remember. Yeah. That was 319, I think, for you.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but I know it was in the teens. But every time it would just immediately black screen. One of them at one patch, I can't remember, but it literally shut my computer off every time I take it close to it.
Right.
Dolomar. Yeah, that was, literally shut my computer off.
Right. Because I remember you were having troubles and we were trying to figure it out, and then we found out
it was just a driver and conflict. And then it kept me locked in at Area 18 one time, where I was dead at 18, but I was also up at Bikini Point at the same time, and it wouldn't let me get my character back.
Yeah, you were stuck in 2 instances.
Yep. So, there's always conflicts. There's always going to be issues. You just have to be patient. They'll work them out. They'll figure it out.
And that's all you can do is wait it out sometimes.
And if it's your turn to get the conflicts, it's just your turn to get the conflicts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's roll the dice, baby. Oh no, snake eye.
There you go. Take a break for a couple of months. You'll be all right.
I understand now why companies like Nintendo push to release the game console and standardize the hardware build for developers. Yeah. PlayStation does the same thing.
Yeah, but then you look at what the gameplay on those devices, they're nothing in comparison though.
No.
They're limited in scope. They're limited in area and zone and size. I mean, you couldn't put WoW on a PlayStation.
Nope.
Let's think about it. You could not put WoW on a PlayStation.
And it's not really that graphically intensive. It's just-
Exactly. It's just too massive, too big of a size. Area wise.
Quantum travel engaged.
You know, I mean, there's a game that came out, I think, in 2003 that you couldn't put on a PlayStation, and that's Lineage 2.
Oh yeah. There were some games that were out there that were virtual reality like, and they couldn't run on a console. You had to have a PC. There was no way.
It would just crash the whole game. And we had those emulators that we'd take and run and try to run some of these other games in them.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. They couldn't do it.
Well, I mean, when 4.0 preview first hit, you would get caught in a queue that was like 2,000, and people were like waiting 30 to 45 minutes, almost an hour to get in when it first hit. Has anybody been to 324?
Absolutely not.
267 for me. It was the highest.
324 is a ghost town.
I know.
I got a question for you. Who here has played WoW?
I know, I was in a shard with just 80 people last night. But of course, it was a EU server.
Okay. Well, what I'm talking about is when patch day come.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. I wouldn't even do it. I would just wait.
And they had hundreds of servers, and you'd be on the same particular server that you've always been on, and you'd be 15, 20,000 in queue.
I would just wait
on patch day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to hear anybody ever bitch about having to wait in queue to get into fucking Star Citizen and spend 30 minutes, because we'd spend 2-3 hours in queue just to get into WoW on patch day, and this is after 20 freaking years of development.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in 320.
Had fun waiting.
What's Billy's Brew? No. LOL. Billy's Brew 324. What? Or who? And Miss Peaches says, I've been in 324. But this means that the minimum specs aren't really based on user experience. Game development becomes more expensive for the developers and the customers.
Yeah, but we're upgrading our machines to go along with it.
And that's another thing. Low-end users are going to have a hard time with this, with the way things are running right now.
It would be easy if they take and drop down the resolution on a lot of the maps and the skins. It would be a lot easier for them to take and go backwards than it is to go forward. To lower the resolutions, it's a lot easier to take and create a whole nother bump maps of lower resolutions from the high resolution images already.
Well, okay. Now, there are people that are running, I mean, I've seen in chat, people that are running 2060s, and they're able to get in the game.
There are people that
enjoying it.
Hold on. When I first started playing the game, you could run it on a 1050.
Yeah.
A 1050, not a 70, not a 6, no, a 1050. That's a 4 gig card.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 gig cards have been around for quite a few decades now, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
So there is, all you got to do, all they'll have to do is turn the image qualities down, which they don't have a full set of them in Star Citizen right now. That's the reason you can't really. The image looks the same if you go from medium to or high to low right now. The image still looks the same damn picture. You're not really turning the image quality down.
Okay.
You're cutting some of the lighting down. That's all you're doing.
All right. I'll go with that. Who here has been running Vulkan besides me?
Myself.
I'm running with my AMD rig, I do, but not for my Intel. Doesn't seem to like it.
Okay. Myself, I'm running Vulkan, and I've been running it ever since I got the Beast, and I have really had no problems with Vulkan. It's been pretty stable, but it's not completely optimized yet where it's taking advantage of the multi-threading from what I hear. But I haven't had a problem. I mean, every once in a while I'll get a spike where it crashes me to desktop, which it did last night, and I haven't had that for about 2 weeks since I started running this. So
Well, I'm saying is, you know, all they're going to have to do is they're just making it for the upper levels right now. And the moment they take and put some lower image maps in and stuff like that, it's just going to take and make it easier for those softer machines. I'm going to leave it called softer machines to take and run it. And they just turn it on to low and they'll be able to play it without a problem. Because we all know it's going to be a graphics problem whenever that happens, because the 8700K used to run this game. It was one of the top processors out there for it. And that's a long time ago.
Drophammer says, I started playing on a 1080 Ti laptop now on a 3080 Ti laptop with 64 gig RAM. Computation power isn't the issue for me. The black screen is. Divide,
there you go.
Vulkan, everything else. I mean, like I say, I did one day, I jumped back to DX11 just to see what it was like, and there's no comparison. Once the shaders are in with Vulkan, they're always there. I mean, I can't say anything bad about it. I mean, yeah, it's still in beta right now for them, but once it goes totally live, what's going to happen with people that can't run it? That's the thing.
It's not going to be the only one.
Did they say that they're going to go with another graphics API?
Well, all your games that are out there have multiple options for the API.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've established it for one, it's not that complicated most of the time to take and maintain it for the other.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean,
I just don't see. I don't see them dropping DirectX. I just don't see them dropping it.
No, they won't.
And that is as generic as you can get for as far as graphics drivers.
Mm-hmm. Should I get? It's another thing that they got to work on, this fueling, but sometimes that's hit or miss as well.
Launch complete.
Vulkan not working for me right now. It will for a few, then crash. I'm too lazy to troubleshoot. DX is fine. What are you running, Billiesburg? What card are you running?
Landing gear up.
Vulkan is working, looks better, and is about 10 frames per second more. What graphics card are you running? Because me, I got the 4070 Super TI Super 16 gig, and I haven't had any issues with it so far. Radeon 7800 XT. Okay. So, is there any other issues that people have been running to? I haven't. I mean, I've been. Whoops. Stanton Gateway.
I had an issue with my ship where I had, what do you call it? My assistant hanger had my Argo Atlas in, and when I loaded up my ship at the fleet terminal and then headed down to my hangar, I noticed that my ship was 1 kilometer away from my current position. So I went back into my hangar and hit my hangar again, and then I got transferred to the ship. And if I didn't do that, I couldn't get out of my current hangar because it had this ghost overlay over the hangar door.
Is that a client side issue or a server side issue though?
Have no idea, but the thing is, it cleared up every couple hours when it came back. So I'm thinking client.
I had to tweak the AMD software to get it to run at all, but now it goes for a while, then crashes. Probably some setting that I have wrong. That's what Billy Bruce saying about his situation. I don't know. I've just been doing a lot of. I've been running Vulkan.
Well, I was getting 80 frames a second on average in 324 with a 6800 XT. And the only thing I did was I just cut down chromatic aberration and no motion blur and stuff, the simple stuff that you just don't play with anyways. And didn't do anything other than just leave it where it was after the patch. And I go out to space, I get over 100 frames a second in it. On the planets, I'm walking around the cities 60 to 80, 85 frames a second. And didn't change anything. And when I'm running over 60, I'm happy. But the average for the game shows right now on my AMD's adrenaline software is around 85. So.
I haven't had any massive issues. But I do notice that when I transfer from one DGS to another, I do see a stoppage. And then it catches up. Has anybody been caught in the repositioning player loop? That's another one.
Yes.
Yes.
Twice.
I did that.
I've got maybe a couple past maybe a couple of days, but it was not a very big issue. It was just, I guess, when I went into the hangar and got out of my ship, it repositioned me, maybe because it detected another player in the same hangar, invisible, and they probably kicked me out. But it brought me back to the same station I was at.
321, I got that for a month.
It happened in the Polaris yesterday for me, from a turret to the torpedo missing console.
Yeah, I've had that happen a couple of times, but it's generally just the hanger issue. The other hanger issue is the micro debris, the stuff that's so tiny you can barely see it. It's some sort of remainder from somebody's ship that I guess got pinched, and you don't see it, and you try to move your ship, and all of a sudden it gets hung up and it's spinning around and acting weird. And if you go back down and move to the side, you get just the right angle, you can see there's, I think Everett was even talking about it specifically at New Babbage hangars. It's like there's a square block in the center of the doors. So that's another issue. And I've seen it on space stations where it'll be part of landing gear or some sort of hydraulic arm that was attached to something in somebody's ship, or a ship that'll have a weird angle and be sitting right in front of your hangar, where nobody can really do anything with it. You just kind of, if you have a small enough ship, you just roll it up sideways right at an angle and you kind of weasel past it. But
Yeah, I went to take the reclaimer out, and I kept running into that blasted square that's on top of the hangar. And getting the reclaimer out of a hangar that's having an issue is no fun. I mean, I was destroyed like 3 or 4 times before I figured out a way to get out of there. It was crazy.
That was funny though.
It was crazy. I was like, what is going on? And once I figured out the angle of what I had to do to get the ship out, you know, now that I know what's going on, it's okay. But that's something that they really gotta work on.
it's more that luck of the draw, like y'all were talking about earlier. If you don't end up with that hanger, you don't have that problem. But if you end up in that hanger, then congratulations, it's your turn in the barrel. So
There you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
We ended up on a roof with no roof.
yeah,
Yeah, I had to
yeah, we're
sag
all
my
running
booty
different
out.
directions. Like scatter and act natural. Nobody will know what's going on.
Yeah, I put that in Shadow's DM.
It was funny. It was funny. But I mean, it was crazy. I mean, some of the little issues that we've run into that we thought were gone, because that was, you know, the debris at the hangar that was gone for a while. Now it's back.
Yeah, I think
Nostalgic.
overall, my play has been stable. I mean, I was on, I think it was Christmas Day. I got on early. I think I was running for 6 hours. Didn't have a single issue. And then it was that night I came on and I had black screen 3 times in, I think, 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just random.
I've only had that once, and it took me a while to try to figure it out. So what would be the best way for everybody to figure it out, for listeners that haven't experienced that yet?
When you get the black screen, there is it's an error that's invisible in the black screen. So if you move your mouse around, you'll be able to find it. Xylo put that out. So it'll take you back to menus. You just have to use your mouse and click in the area, and it'll take you back to the main menu.
Shadow, can you share? Did you share that on the Discord? I would like to see that. Because
Yeah,
I always have
it's there.
trouble. Oh, okay. Under what?
Snowbird general chat, or
Okay.
not general chat, Star Citizen chat.
Okay.
I think another issue that was being created by that is people didn't know what was going on, so they were alting out, and like I did when it first happened and had no idea what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up having to do a character repair off the bat the first time I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know some other people were doing the same thing, and then somebody said, and I can't remember if it was you,
Tilde and quit. Yeah.
Yep, and quit. And I've done that since, and I haven't had to do a character reset, rebuild. I haven't had any issues. It just takes me out,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can jump back in. So that's worked, with the exception of when you get the error message later that says, "Oh, you're still locked to a shard. You have to wait," because apparently the black screen was the server taking a dump, and you're stuck on that server until it releases you and puts you either onto a different server or they get that one back online.
Yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, so that's the other issue that happens with black screen. But I think that's just become a waiting game. I think the longest I've had to wait after it gave me that message was maybe an hour or two, and then when I tried it, it let me right back into either that server or a different one. I don't really pay attention to the exact servers I'm on as far as the utility.
I try to keep track of it and, let people know if there's an issue with that server. Because I've been sticking to testing chat pretty closely, and they'll tell you when a server is down or it's, a shard is acting up or something like that. For a long time, when we first started EPTU, shard 110 was rough. Okay, coming through the gate. Man, this never gets old. It is just exhilarating.
Hey, Shadow.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Well, the whole, I guess everybody on right now. Have you noticed that you can't find those Pembroke backpacks anymore?
You can't buy
Or
the
the
Pembrokes.
undersuit. Or the undersuits.
There's a lot of stuff that's moved and been taken out.
You can't buy the Pembroke anymore?
Not that I could find, no.
I went to the cargo center as well looking for it, and I haven't tried Cubbies yet, so.
Has anybody been to Hurrell too?
Aren't they normally at refineries, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to be a normal cargo hangers, I don't think. It has to be
Well, then maybe that explains it.
Try Hurrell 2 refinery, or yeah, that's where I would pick them up.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if anybody found any luck on that, because I do like those backpacks.
You should be able to still get those. Give me a second. I'll take a hop over there.
I can't think of the name of the other one, but it was the other suit that they were constantly selling, the yellow and black that had
Novikov.
Yeah, the Novikov. That's another one that's gone. It's even been pulled off the mannequins where it was being displayed. So
That's not good.
Yeah, there's weapons that have been moved and aren't available. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think the R97 used to be available at New Babbage, but I'm not 100%. And anymore, it's the two Gemini. It's the SMG and the pistol is all they have there. And then some of the other weapon depots, they rotated out different weapons. So it's like they did kind of scattered stuff around. Kind of the same thing they've done where they're talking about mining, how you're not going to be aware of where everything is. It's not going to be available on client side. They're going to move stuff as they need or want to.
Does everybody have Cornerstone? The website? That will help you find stuff.
Yeah, I was using that for a while, but that also relies on the client side stuff, which has changed since then.
Mm-hmm. But Urkel's still good. Urkel is the one stop.
50%.
Enjoy going to Urkel. So glad that he was able to recover. A lot of people donated to keep him alive because Urkel, I'm going to say it, best site to look at all your ships and the different things you could do to it and stuff like that. Can't beat that site. As a matter of fact, is it in our in-game help? In-game help tools. There was one. I know it's here somewhere. It's probably catalog. Mini tool. I know it's in here somewhere. I can't remember exactly where it is. Ah, there it is. I'm going to put that in the chat, so for those that need it. That's a link for Cornerstone. It might have changed. That's an old link. But I'm going to check this out for you, Dyer.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mm.
Oh, hey, Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
I got an executive ship.
Oh, you did? Doing the
Yep.
contested zone?
Yeah, with the
Hot right
with
now. Just came out
the
of the pan.
group.
Which one you get?
the one that Shadow loves to death. He doesn't admit it, but he loves it.
Oh, Lord.
Don't even go there.
Okay, so what they have it armed with?
With those NBEs and I can never
NDBs?
say it right. Yes, all full out loadout on it.
Nice.
But
Fully military spec.
does that ship contribute to your web hangar, or does it only go in your in-game hangar?
It's in-game hangar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there's another patch, no wipe, it'll still roll over. So until they come out with like a major patch where it's gonna be like a full wipe, then I'll lose the ship.
Well, so if you crash it right now, you get it back?
Oh
Reclaim
yeah.
it?
Yep.
Can you throw a skin on it? Can you modify it?
Yes, you could. Well, because it's not a gold pass ship, that particular ship, you're not able to physically take out the components. But what you could do is take out in your vehicle manager, you could take out the
Right.
components and put it into another ship that is able to take out the components manually. And yeah, there it's grade A shields. Coolers and everything. The only thing that's not gray A military is the quantum drive. It's a competitor. Uh, A.
Hmm. So, fishing like racing.
Yeah, I guess it's more sufficient. I guess to
Yeah.
CIG people. I guess.
I guess so.
Landing gear down.
But yeah, it was.
Landing complete.
It's a ordeal. I mean, it takes a long time to get all the keys, and geez, it's running through a lot of hoops.
So it's a time sink. Just saying. It's one that you've got to be there
Fuel
to complete.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you come in a fresh server, you could get those keys, those red and blue keys easily. But if you're in a high, or going into a server with already maxed out 500 plus, 400 even, you might go to a location that you need to grab those security badges or keys, and then wait 30 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes. It matters whoever was there last. Then you just have to wait out. But again, you're in a server that with that many players are probably going to do the same thing. So we're rolling in 6 deep into the missions. So we had a lot of backup, a lot of firepower. So it was, yeah, yeah. You can't do it solo. I mean, if you're solo, then you're Rambo. I mean, that's all I could say.
There's one quality of life thing that I think that some of the stations could use. In Pyro, when you go into the elevator to go to your ship, there is other areas that you can use the elevator for. I think that's cool. I would like that to be in Stanton, but hey, it is what it is.
It's a
Quality of
pyro
life.
feature.
Stack all button for your backpack.
Hmm.
Similar items in your backpack, in a box, in your storage, stack all.
Don't forget, you can also scavenge for components off abandoned ships. Yes, you can.
So I have another question. Is
Shoot.
has everybody? I think I got my very first what do you call it? Blueprint.
Oh,
A blueprint.
Yeah, it's basically I put it in your DM, but basically what I had was a message that came up
Mm-hmm.
that was geez, there it is. It was. It said
Whoa.
FPS
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
FPS harvesting collection. You have successfully harvested an item. Add it to your personal inventory, interact with the item, and choose to share it. So I have no idea what that is. So I'm assuming it must be a blueprint while you're harvesting or scraping or salvaging ships.
does it show on your inventory?
Oh, it's just a placeholder. I can't see
Oh.
it. No.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Gentlemen, the Pembroke suit is not here.
Can't find the backpack either.
The only
Yeah.
spot there's a mission that you can get later, I think it's unverified. There's a boss that spawns and he has the backpack that comes with those. And from my understanding, that's how you can get one of those backpacks. But that's it as far as not having to buy one from the store. From my understanding.
And usually this one is, I mean, I'm at the refinery and the Pembroke is there. It is not here. It's not even on the mannequin anymore.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
There's several of them they've pulled off the mannequins. They're not available.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm wondering if they're going to hide them behind rep.
Wow.
So you want the Pembroke? Congratulations. I hope you work your rep up with this mining group over here because they're the only ones that have them. Good luck. Have a nice day.
I wonder if they're in Pyro. Because Pyro 1 is super hot. You need a Pembroke.
Well, could be.
Maybe it will be involved with the citizen branch, where you have to go onto certain particular gameplay loops, and then you'll earn it as you proceed.
The one thing that I hope they haven't done is I hope they haven't removed it and put it behind reputation, and then the organization that gives you the reputation doesn't exist yet because they haven't built that in. Because, you know, cart before the horse has a tendency to happen. I hope that hasn't happened.
I'm going to check the Galleria, the armor shop here.
Maybe they made it into a blueprint.
Well, if you buy it, you can get a blueprint, but we're back to when is that going to come in, because that's not around either yet. So, as far as fabrication,
yeah,
that's kind of oof. Well, at least they didn't take the weapon shop away. Can't remember where the armor shop is here. Been a while since I've been over here.
Hi. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with.
There's the bar. Don't need that right now. Wasn't there an armor shop on Referral 2? I don't remember. Pizza. Still can't get pizza. There's no armor shop here. Wait a minute.
Hey.
yeah, they've been shifting some of the inventory out of the shops that I normally go to. Some of the stuff that I would normally pick up isn't available, but you can find it at other shops where it didn't used to be.
Yeah.
So it's, like I said, they're just shuffling things around.
Mm-hmm. I don't see one here anymore. That's crazy. Ship weapons, noodle shop, live fire weapons, the bar, administration.
Hey.
Nope. It was in the refineries. I used to go there all the time and get it. Now it's gone. So, yeah, Dyer, they took it out.
What?
That's not a good thing. Is anybody on check a cargo center?
I checked the cargo center. It wasn't there.
Okay. Well,
I just checked Reddit, and it looks like there's nowhere to buy it. You have to buy it from the actual store.
Hmm.
Good old marketing team again.
It's a feature.
That's crazy. So you're buying a pledge item, you could lose it, and you know.
Yeah,
I-
it's kind of.
If you had it as a pledge item, it shouldn't be gone.
It
I'll
disappears until the next mount.
I'll
Oh,
tell you
okay. Alright.
something when we're off stream that I use, because if I say it, then they'll probably go ahead and remove it, and just to spite the people who are doing what I'm doing. But if I'm paying money for something,
Yeah, I know what you do.
then it's available. So that's just how I do it. I'm not going to sit there and argue with them. I've paid for it. It's mine to use.
Copy that.
Yeah, I'm not playing that game.
Have a good one, Billy's Brew.
Crusader Industries, a journey worth taking.
Well, I'm heading back home to Microtech. We've had some good discussions today about what's out there, what we're encountering, what quality of life changes we'd like to see. There's a couple of them I want to see changed. Just hoping that when they get back, that we see a
Landing gear up.
either a new update to 4.0 preview, a patch update where you won't lose rep money and all like that you've been working on for 2 weeks. That's pretty
Clean
much
up with the hangers.
yeah.
Clean up with the hangers.
The hangers, that's a massive thing. I'm not gonna lie about that one, Everett. That's a big one, and I want to be able to spawn back in my hangar, which was really very convenient. So, anybody got any other comments, questions?
Shields off.
Please feel
Yeah,
free.
yes, I do. Congrats and hats off to CIG for working through Christmas, trying to get the updates working or the hot fixes.
Yes.
That helped.
Yep, that was amazing on Christmas, because I wasn't expecting all that.
Very much so.
They come back, what, the 5th from their break?
Supposedly the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have anything else. Just it's gotten better for me on certain aspects, and there are some things that I'm still having issues with, but stability wise, as far as the black screens, I'm crossing fingers on that, but I haven't had one. I did have a crash to desktop yesterday, but that was a total crash to desktop. Other than that, it's been stable. Can't complain about that, but still there's ways to go that I've seen. So I'm pretty much going to call it on this one. Anybody else got anything before I shut down? And
I'm good. I don't have anything, sir.
alrighty. Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for joining me in the Snowbirds meeting room. Miss Charmy, Dyer, Everett, Kaz, Redtail, Rocky. And thank you, Rocky, for hopping in and giving us some history, because there was a lot of it.
Yeah, I get the ramble.
And Kaz.
Yeah, see, and Kaz giving us some history, and Everett, you giving us some history too. But I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Everybody, have a wonderful Sunday. See you New Year's Eve for an game package giveaway, the holiday game package for New Year's Eve, and I'll see you then. Take care. Have a wonderful Sunday.
You too, sir.
Take it easy. Have a good one.